we had the oldest part of the town that was there even before the Royal Pavilion was built.
We're going to head over there because we think that this is the area that can tell us the most about the lives of Brighton's people.
We will set places where you can walk to, and you can take pictures of particular places which you think will be a good place to site, whatever it happens to be. And you can also take a little video of yourself or one of your group saying why you think it would be good for, and then you can say what you think you would like this particular part of the area to be used for.
Engaging Places has 3 dimensions to it. One is a website. That gives you access to fantastic resources and also a directory of providers. We also have networks where we're trying to get providers and teachers working together to trial best practice and how are we going to do this stuff in the future. What's the cutting edge built environment education practice? And thirdly, we want to provide a degree of thought leadership too. We want to be really setting an agenda here, saying this is how we're going to make teaching creative and surprisingly relevant in the future.
You can see that all the roofs are different, and the roof on number 9 has been redone, and yeah, it's got a false front.
I think the physical face of Britain is changing very fast despite the recession. The most obvious place of that is in schools. So one obvious place to use Engaging Places is in BSF. I think also it's helping us to look at issues like Find Your Talent, where we're trying to pilot a cultural offer. And in this country, generally speaking, we've got very good provision in the arts, but we need people to be really understanding how the built environment, how our history and our heritage have shaped our lives, and why they need to demand great new design and new developments. I think one of the most surprising things for a lot of teachers is we might be saying not go out to the built environment, but bring the built environment into your classroom.
Everybody absolutely loves, swimming and ice skating and all that, because it's like in Sheffield and Doncaster, we don't have one round here.
If we could pick what was going to happen down there, I'd just turn it all into like the Greenlandy forest type place and just leave it as it is, not build anything in it.
So there's lots of ways in which buildings and places, you can visit them, but you can also within a project get that back to teach any part of the curriculum within the classroom.
We've discovered that Eliza Drogres, who lived in number 11 East Street, that she was French and she owned a chocolate shop which specialised in French foods, and that she passed it on to her daughter when she died.
Now often teaching and learning through buildings and places, it might involve a trip to a historic site. It might just as well be about using your local high street to learn, or it might even be just about using the school grounds, so this doesn't need to be expensive.
We chose this street because of the name itself and because of this, the Black Lion pub, which is very different from all the other buildings in the area and quite unusual.
In our local area, I want more wildlife instead of just ducks.
We're hoping to change what could be our future.
Here I am in Brighton Museum's reading room, and I'm about to meet the man who lives at number 9 Market Street.
Good day and pleasure to meet you. I'm Richard Allen, a local barber and hairdresser around here. I know what you're thinking. I am 51 years old. It's that miraculous seawater, I'll tell you, it's fantastic, does wonders, especially for a good head of hair.
What we have in Engaging Places is a way that they can look at subjects in a cross-curricular fashion. It ties in beautifully with New Key Stage 3. And it's about actually, I think, looking at the built environment as a free teaching resource. Use it as a way to make the teaching of any subject creative and surprising and relevant.
Today is part celebration of what Engaging Places has achieved over the past year, the launch of the website and the work that's been done between schools and built education providers over the course of the last year, some of which you will have a chance to see later this afternoon.
I think what I'd really like to learn at this conference is what young people want from the design of the places where they live and learn. So what they want their homes to be like, their schools to be like, the streets, the parks. That's what I'm really interested in.
Particular welcome to the young people here today. Look forward very much to hearing what you've got to say, because this, in my view, is a wonderful project and is a great way of involving young people in the communities around them.
Well, we were given the task to redesign Gravesend Public Library, and we had to think about all interior design, measurements, and all the spacing around the environment.
We learnt about sustainability, environmental issues, recyclable materials, and really just being eco-greening.
And it's actually what Engaging Places seems to be all about, because it's about speaking to the next generation about the importance of thinking through and designing well the spaces in which we live.
My normal classroom sessions, we just kind of sit down and read off a book on the internet, but this one we actually got to go out to different places, meet different children and meet the community as well.
We have a big programme coming through at the moment, Building Schools for the Future. And I think that is one of the best examples where we could take some of the lessons of Engaging Places, some of the work it's been doing with the schools up and down the country, and almost plant those principles in the very heart of building schools for the future.
I have to say, I mean, a lot of it was really interesting. There's not a lot that, there's nothing that I didn't like about the project, because it was absolutely brilliant.
I'm proud to say I'm a champion of Engaging Places, because it's one of the best tools we've got to break down these barriers and create that sense of empowerment amongst young people. And I think this is something we could take further.
Why is this project so important for young people?
I think it's really important to think about where you live, and I think young people need to know that they can change the place that they live if there are things they don't like about it. Sometimes we just think, well, you know, this is where I live, we're stuck with it, oh, we don't like it, it's got, you know, this wrong with it and that wrong with it. But actually, everyone can change the place that they live if they get involved. And that's what's good about this project. It really makes people think about where they live, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and it gives them some ideas about how they might change it.
How did you think it would help them learn and develop as individuals?
Young people, in my view, have got so many talents and passions in there that sometimes teaching in school doesn't help them find something that they're really interested in and passionate about. So I think that's why things like this are good, because they're a little bit different, and they perhaps give you a few different insights that you might not otherwise have had. So.
I've learnt an awful lot today. It's been a real privilege to work with the 16 schools that are represented here and hear their curriculum story of this Engaging Places project. Found it really inspirational.
At the HLF, at the Heritage Lottery Fund, we've got a programme called Young Roots, where we encourage young people and youth organisations to team up with heritage groups and put in applications to do projects which help people learn and understand their heritage. And this is perfect. Engaging Places really does that. And it's good to see that young people are doing that at such an early age.
I think what this project has picked out very clearly today, and particularly from the Minister's presentation, is that we should be involving young people in planning for our and their futures, and today's brought that out very nicely.
Well, this is actually the first time I've heard about Engaging Places. I received an email, it was quite interesting in what we do. I do a lot of work with schools on an ad hoc basis. So I'm going to go back to my organisation and try and formalise what I'm doing. Perhaps contact someone in Engaging Places and find out how I can get involved.
I think the main thing I've learned is that if you get lots and lots of people, young people, teachers, different organisations all joined up working together to achieve the same thing, then you can really, really get results beyond your wildest dreams.